Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everybody. It is your girl, Bridget Yelder, and I am here joined today with the author, Miss Kimberly V. Porter, and she is the author of Spiritual Guidance Through Alzheimer's Disease. And we are here live for a virtual book signing. How many of you know that we will not let COVID-19 stop us from being great? No, we will not allow that to happen. We have technology and we have the ability to be all over the world and connect together. So I am in Alabama and Kimberly is in Minnesota. Okay. And we are here with you. So, listen, guys, as you come into the live, we would love for you to type your name and where you are. We would love, love, love for you to type your name and where you are listening to us from because we want you to participate. This is a book signing. So we can't give you the the let's say the snacks and the hors d'oeuvres. So get your own snacks, get your own hors d'oeuvres, get you a nice cup of ginger ale, some water. I have my water. Let's see, let me start. I have my water. So I'm ready. I want you all to be comfortable and come on in. And we're going to, excuse me, I dropped my water. We're going to let Mrs. Kimberly tell us about this book, but we want you to come in. And as you come in, please, please, please type your name and where you're watching us from because we would love to connect with you. And even if you watch the replay, please come back in on the replay, type your name and where you are so that we can stay connected with you. Okay, and today as a special offer to everyone who joins us live or if they order the book today. If you're not able to watch this live, say you catch it live an hour later and you want to get this special gift that we're going to offer today, you'll be able to get it today only for Saturday. We are offering Kimberly's book, Spiritual Guidance Through Alzheimer's Disease, for $15 today. Today only. Okay. So that is a special gift to you all. I am going to post the link in the comments where you will be able to click on that link and place an order to the Divine Excellence page with PayPal, and we will ship your book out to you. We want to connect with you. Also, when you place your order where it asks you to leave a note, please leave your address and your email in the note section so that we can get back with you and make sure that your book is received. But I'm going to make sure I put this information in the comments for everyone that comes on to join us today. Kimberly, why don't you go ahead and say hello to the people while I'm typing this information in?
Okay. Well, hi everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. And I really appreciate Bridget for all that she's doing for me in order to get this to happen. Um, I hope that you get something about the information that I'm going to give to you, and go from there. Let's stay connected, and together we can fight this disease. Dis-ease is what I called it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um we can have total transparency here today to let everyone know how this experience has affected you. And that was one of the purposes. I know because I am your publisher. And let me put out a shameless plug here, as y'all see in the top corner. This virtual book signing is being brought to you by Divine Excellence Consulting LLC, of which I am the CEO and chief editor. And I was introduced to Miss Kimberly through my business partner and marketing specialist, Miss Nancy Maddox. Shout out to Mrs. Nancy Maddox. I thank you for introducing us and connecting us, and we were able to work together to make this book happen, to make it a great success. Because I personally found great interest in the topic and what the information that was being shared in this book, because my grandmother had dementia. And so I experienced it directly as a family member. So I know how it can affect, from my end. But Kimberly shares a great information in this book, and I mean it's all types, and it says spiritual guidance, but it has a variety of guidance in the book, and that's what I love. So, Kimberly, let me ask you, since we're getting started and we're waiting on people to join in, people are jumping in slowly but surely, but they're coming in. As they come in, tell us what was the one of the maybe a few of the driving forces that gave you the courage to write this book.
Okay. One of the reasons why I wrote the book is basically to deal with the different types of emotions um, that I was going through, and the spiritual piece. The background to that is my spirituality. I am a Christian, but however, as Christians, we still have these different types of emotions that God gave us. And so I wanted to write the book um, for myself and for others, and to share some of the emotional pieces that I went through um, concerning my mother here. Her name is, she is Sally Porter Thomas. And I wanted people to learn about it, just as I still am learning different things about this type of disease. And there's so many different forms of Alzheimer's and dementia. And my mother has a form that, where right now, physically, she's not able to move her body and she's not able to speak. And so, with that, learning how to cope with my own emotions, learning how to go to God, which I didn't. Um, Not that I didn't, it's just like verbally. My mother will always say, when I'm talking to her about different things, she said, Kim, just like you talking to me, tell God about it, talk to Him about it. And I never really did that. In my mind, I might have said something, but verbally, I was holding a whole lot of things in, and um, I found myself getting angry, and so I just wanted to share a lot of my emotions with it, because I'm quite sure everybody has different types of emotions. They deal differently with stuff, and for me, I God said write the book. I did, and I wrote it from my heart and put in some things that I'm hoping that will attract people and get them through a lot of this, because it's a journey. It's a journey.
It really is a journey. For me, when my grandmother had dementia in the beginning, it was interesting because my mom sent me to the grocery store for her, and she didn't tell me that my grandmother was starting to get develop dementia slowly. And so we went to the grocery store for her, and I went to take her groceries. And at the time, she lived by herself in a senior apartment. And so I go in to take groceries, and she has this chair in the middle of the floor, and she's telling me that she has a roommate. And in the senior apartment, it's made like it's a what's the word for it? It's a one room apartment. It's not a multi room apartment. It was just like a efficiency somewhat, but for seniors. And I was saying to myself, I know my grandmother doesn't have a roommate, but I was actually in that apartment looking around for her roommate. And I was like, Mother, you sure somebody is in here? And she was like, Yeah, they're in here. And I was like, Wow, what is going on? And it was so weird. So I just went with it. And when I left, I called my mom and I said, Mom, do Mother have a new nurse? Because sometimes she would joke and call her nurses her roommates because they came so often. And so I was like, Mama, did you did you did Mother get a new nurse? And she just started laughing. And I was like, why you laughing, Mama? She was like, I forgot to tell you that Mother is entering the beginning stages of dementia. So she is, is seeing things. She really had a chair in the middle of the floor for her um for her roommate. And I was like, I didn't know, but it tickled my mama because of the way I said I was looking around the apartment for a person to come in. So everybody has a different experience with it. And as like you said with your mom, she's not able to speak. So that was a challenge for you. And as I worked on your book, my heart really went out to you because I was like, you know, to have to experience not being able to talk to your mom and she's there, but you can't really have a conversation with her. You can talk to her, but she can't talk back to you. And that's
Yes.
almost like a very emotional thing. I know for you, you shared about that in the book. Share a little bit about how that made you feel to talk to your mom and she couldn't talk back to you.
Yeah, I think what it was mostly is that I didn't know what was going on with her. And before she lost all of her mobility and things like that, she was going through these different stages where um, my dad said that she would get up in the middle of the night and she would be crawling on the floor, um, calling for her mom. And my grandmother's been dead for years and years and years, and she would go in the bathroom and she would just sit there, and she'd be there for an hour or two and whatnot, and nobody really knew. And so when I would talk to her on the phone, she was still able to talk, and a lot of these different types of things was coming out of her. For instance, like she was angry and she would say, don't listen to what they're saying. um, I don't listen to what they're saying. And she would laugh it off. Me, I'm getting old and stuff. And I would say, oh, Mom, don't say that you're not getting, older. Well, you're getting older, but, come on now. And we would talk, and I would ask her to pray. And she will immediately pray like, wow, like nothing. And so, with that being said, this came about so quickly, where one day she was walking and they had to help her to walk because her legs would shake, her feet, and it would go out and stuff. And it just came quickly, where this form that she has came like that. And my background is early childhood development, and so I do a lot of sociology and psychology, and I begin to look into that to see what's going on, with my mom, and the brain this and the brain that, and come to find out she's in a nursing home, and it's like, okay, I can't get there, my emotions kicked in, basically the guilt because I couldn't get there to be with her. um, and in a lot of times. And so I would, of course, cry, and I'm going to work, driving, and I'm thinking about my mom. And so I start hollering and screaming in my car, but making sure that there's no other cars around in the front or in the backs. And so I went to work on a certain little roadway where there were hardly any traffic, and I would holler and I would scream. And um, as soon as I come to a stoplight, I'm back. I'm back to myself. Like nothing going on, and things. And I drive and I go to work, um, get out in my car, and I said, okay, you get this together. I walk in, act like nothing's wrong, and hey, how y'all doing? Because I'm a very verbal person, talkable person, and go to my office. At the time, I was a program director, and I would go to my office, and yeah, I changed my room around so that you can't see me. But however, because my door is always open, and I love people coming in and talking and stuff. And so with that, with my desk changed, I was able to just sit back some, and tears would start to flow, but I would have to get it together. And so it was like anger. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. Um, Literally, I remember uh, probably being up for like 7 days, just up, doing people's homework to deal with it, being angry, calling my brother on the phone. I really lashed out at him. If I'm quite sure that he can remember, um, telling him what he better do and how he better do it, because I felt that he was more able to get there quicker. I was going through a whole lot of like financial stuff and whatever, and so you need to do this. And then I had friends back home that I was depending on, and didn't care how they did it as long as you got there, forgetting that they have families, they have this, they have that, and you're not able to drop and go. And even with my siblings, I have step siblings and things, I kind of lashed out on them. And that's not the way to go. But the lashing out was basically because of the anger, the fear of what's not going on. Okay, you're there. Why? Ask these questions, ask this, ask that. And again, going back on my early childhood about these certain types of things, and finally connecting with the doctors and the nurses, going to them in the same kind of way, which would probably make people very uncomfortable. Um, because it's like telling a doctor, you're a doctor, you should know this. You should know that you don't give a person 4 or 5 different types of medicines that do the same thing. It's going to cause infection. Get all of the information and looking it up and see what it does, because you can get infections from some things. Some of the medicines that I found out she was on, it did cause her to supposedly forget. However, with younger people, it was said, I'm sorry, I don't have the names of the medicines in front of me, but with the younger people, it caused suicidal thoughts. And so for me, just reading stuff, and then connecting with people that have went through that. Uh, One of the guys, he uh, connected with me on one of my social medias, and on LinkedIn, and he would show me his family, what his mother went through it as well. And I'm saying, this man don't know me from whatever, but he would show me those videos, and he called me on the phone and just to check out to see how I was. And he admitted, he said, Kim, when I found out, I went crazy. I went literally nuts. And he said, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with your emotions. And I'm thinking to myself, because he can't see me, I'm like, how you know what I'm dealing with? He can't see me while I'm
Mhm.
listening to his message and things. But it took me to a place where, again, not eating, I lost like 80 pounds, 85 pounds. All my hair came out, so for maybe like this much. Um, Again, staying up, doing people's homework. I wear glasses, as you can see, but for some reason, when I had them off, I can see little like lint on the floor. I mean, I just picked and researched and stayed up and then started to learn how to cry. And when I did cry, it wasn't one of those, it was like a cry I had never heard.
Mhm.
The and it released a lot of things, and it just took me out of what I what I would feel. My mother, the places she is at now, she had a ministry. She would go to those places of nursing homes, and she would speak to the people, do Bible sessions, Bible lessons, encouragement, and now she's there. And it was just very hard from the beginning, and without God helping me through, I would probably still be in that place. I'm much better now. Um, I'm able to, I do like a dual media with her, like kind of like what we're doing here. And
Mhm.
I'm able to see her. And for me to not break up on the phone and start crying, and it has to be God, you know. I'm talking to her. I read scriptures to her. I've been doing like songs and things like that. And in the book, I have a lot of poetry that's about her, and I would read that to her. I said, "Mom, remember I was writing a book. I had no idea that was going to be about Alzheimer's, but at that time, it was basically a mother daughter relationship." And but I put those thoughts inside the book, and I would read them to her, and just talk to her, um, and praying and trusting God. God told me to trust and believe Him, and it was just so hard because daily, and I mean every day, I would think, "Oh, what's she doing now?" And then even when I'm lying down, if I'm laying a certain way, if my hands are a certain way, I immediately straighten them out because my mother's hands were basically like this. And
Mhm.
I started, I guess, like acting, I don't know, acting like that. And I would try to hurry up, and I would open my fingers, and started eating collard greens because my fingers got locked. And I remember a nurse coming to the church that I'm at. She's from Ghana, and she had this relationship with her best friend, and they would, her and some others would go over and try to take care. And because your heart and you want so much for that person to be well, she began to take on that what that lady was. And I said, "Oh my God, that's what happened with me." And she began to just talk to God, and God gave her this and told her how to do this and that. And when she said collard greens, I got me some collard greens. I ate them raw. Yes, I did.
Mhm.
And my fingers began to unlock. But it was a mental thing.
Yeah.
I had to get up out of there, and and start thinking and praising God, and um, reading encouraging scripture that's like spiritual, that food for me, and to get me out of it, and not to feel guilty, not to be mad or angry at people because they don't do stuff like I do. You know, every they don't. If I was there, this is what I would be doing, and I'm speaking just like that to people. Um, and then having a friend, I had a friend of mine, one of my closest friends, to go home with me. And because she's my friend and she knows my temperament and everything, so I'm figuring I'm not going to act all difficult.
Mhm.
However, when I got there, um, my dad said, "Okay, Kim," and I was all happy going in and everything because it was the couple of days before my birthday. And I went there. He said, "Oh, this is a room." So I walked in, and I saw this lady, laying down, and I, looked over at her and looked straight ahead at the window. I walked and I looked at this empty bed. I walked to the window and I looked out the window. I mean, I never forget it. I came out, looked at the woman again. I said, "Well, she's not in there." And my dad said, "Kim, you passed her." I said, "No, I did not." And the how I talked to him, and then my friend coming over, and I said, "No, move away." I pushed her, literally pushed my hand. "Don't you touch me." And she started crying. He had tears in his eyes. And I was just talking, and I said, "That woman is not my mother." And then the tears would come. And if my dad didn't say, "Kim, do it for her," when he said that, it's like, when you're a child and you're crying and you do all like that,
Mhm.
that's what I did. I sucked everything up. I walked in there and I looked at my mother directly in her eyes. And I said, "Hey, mom, it's me, Kim." And I hugged, and she took my hand and she squeezed my hand, and tears came to her eyes. And I just looked in there and I said, "Yeah, mom, I'm." how are you? And I said, yeah, look, I got your necklace on, which I did. I had a necklace on to her. And I said, I took it. You know, I'm always taking things when I come home. You know what I do? I always take whatever it is that I want. And, I don't call it stealing. It's just I want it. I'm going to take it. And she knows I'm like that. And I hugged her and we talked. She could talk a little bit at that time and stuff. But I mean, when you have someone that you love so dearly and you're used to them just going out and doing things. This is what she did. She did a lot for people. She did a jail ministry for women, again, the nursing home ministry, and just going out and just doing, not just inside the church, but on the outside to bring people in. And I was so used to that, and looking at her hair and her hair is really really long and caressing her hair and just telling her how beautiful she is. It's just hard, but the the duel that I'm seeing now, I'm seeing a difference from then up to now, where I'm able to look at her and still see her as my mom, as my beautiful mom. Yes, she's not able to move, but she's when she says hi Kim, it isn't hi Kim, it's mm-hmm. It's that. And I know what she's saying. She's saying I hi Kim. And when I read certain things to her, she's mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I tell her when she got God is in whatever he's in this. He knows what you're going through. He knows your heart. He's there with you. Remember the things that you told me when I was ill and she would come to see me. And remember what you told me about trusting in God and not giving in or giving up because he's able to do anything, even with Alzheimer's. Um, when in the past when doctors would talk or anybody would talk in front of her as if she wasn't there, that irritated me. And I would click in and say, remember, she knows everything. What she does, she knows everything that you're saying. She understands everything. The only thing is she's just not able to move her arms, her body, um, or verbalize things, So, don't talk like she's not here because she's my mom knows what you're saying. And then I remember one time I met my friend, we were there and kind of going through the same thing. My friend did a prayer. My mom was, thank you, Jesus. She moved her leg, which is, she doesn't move her leg. And at that time, she did not move her leg. She lifted her leg, and I said, Mom, do it again. And she did. And then I had to catch myself. I said, oh my God, I just yelled at my mom, and she's going to come up out there. And, my and at that time, I didn't care if she jumped up out that bed and chastised me and, put me in
Well,
my
let me
place.
let me break
She,
in. Let me break
she
in and ask
did.
you something.
Uh
Let me
huh.
break in real quick and ask you something because you just gave us a lot. You just gave us
Okay.
a lot. I mean, that I can. I'm just sitting here and captivated, and what I see while you're speaking is this disease gave you a hunger for knowledge to learn more about the disease and how it would affect your mother to the point where in the book I like that you share, things like recipes. You share all
Right.
different types of things in the book for people
Mhm.
to, learn. Like I remember turmeric. I remember the one thing you said about
Mhm.
turmeric. It was like a whole thing on turmeric in the book. And as I worked on this book, I was being educated. So I see that in you. It's like you have a aggressive hunger to study and find out and be educated about, this disease and not just take the doctor's word for it. Because a
Right.
lot of people just listen to the doctors and they don't do research. They don't do their own research. They don't
Right.
go out and not, be disrespectful, but challenge what the doctors are doing, and say, hey, is this really working? Is this really something that's effective? And I really believe because of your hunger and your thirst for that knowledge that your mother is still with us, because you could have just went along with the program and let them do what they were doing, but you didn't do that. and I see that in you, and I want you to share, what was your favorite thing that you found out about that you share with other people to help them at that point? Because I see you did transition from anger to a better place now where you're able to, not be so angry to where it internalizes and it manifests, in such hard ways. And I do want you to share the story about, when you went to choir rehearsal that night. I think that that was a very powerful point. So let's start with, you know, um, one of your favorite tips that you put in the book, and then share with us the story about choir rehearsal that night.
Okay. One of the tips that I believed I put in there is basically not to approach people angrily. Um, because carrying that anger and talking to them any kind of way is not going to solve anything. There's a proper way to speak to people. Um, and so, with that, I have to remember to be just like I'm a professional in early childhood development. How do I speak to people? Um, Related to them, what it is that you want them to know, but be kind about it. Be not demanding, share like, hey, I found this interesting about whatever, and what are your feelings about that? And to just be respectful to people and understand that everybody doesn't think the way that you do, everybody doesn't do things the way that you do, and to be an encouragement but not be rude, because I not kind of I was rude in a lot of ways. And the choir rehearsal piece, um, I remember like when my mother was, I guess, going through one of the worst times um, with this here disease. um, I God brought to my attention a lot of things, but I had heart disease, and with that being said, I had heart disease, and they were trying to say that which means the doctors were trying to say I had cancer, breast cancer, and so I again, like, I don't eat and I don't sleep, I don't drink, I don't do any foods whatsoever, and I push myself away from people when I going through different things. But at choir rehearsal, we were having well, we were supposed to have choir rehearsal, but it didn't come out like that. It came out basically praise and worship and like a little testimony, whatever, and services. And so I stood up and I told the people, I said, the doctor said if I don't get some type of surgery, that I could die. Um, I don't know what to do. I also had fibroids. I was going with fibroids. Ugh. With that, losing a lot of blood out of my body, and my clots were bigger than my hand, just coming out
Mm,
of me every day. And I was tired, and I wrestled with the fibroids, the cancer piece, and the heart stuff for like about a year. No one knew about it because I call myself a cover girl. I can cover up my emotions and you won't know what's going on. But that night, I guess I just had enough. And I said, if I don't get this surgery done, they said I'm going to die. But I believe I was trying to keep going, but they said stop and put me in a circle, and they began to pray. The choir began to pray, and I had my glasses off, and I was crying. I put my head over my minister of music at the time is Elder Billy Steele, and his wife was going through some type of something as well, and so he kind of understood what I was going through, but he was praying, and I just cried on his shoulder, and I opened my eyes, and it was clear, and I said, yes, oh my God, God done healed my eyes. it was clear and it was colorful. And then I closed my eyes again and I opened them, and then it was back to the kind of blurry vision. But I said all that is to say that when I went in for that surgery, I had angioplasty surgery. Um, and it went in through my wrist, and you can't tell anything that's there. All of my all of my arteries were closed except for one. And my doctor at that time said if you put a straw up there and you blow through it, no air would have gotten through it. And so
mm,
it was like I was a miracle for them. Um, the cancer and that supposedly had nothing there, it was gone. So all of those things I was battling it, but the thing is this: God healed me. Yeah, I had to do the procedure. Yeah, and with the fibroids, I had to go and get that taken care of. But He healed my body, and that came back for me to remember what He's done. Not just that thing, but He's done other things in my body in the past, um, that I've never told anybody about. And so for me, that built my faith, because although the type of Alzheimer's she has, there's no cure for it, but all I have is what I know. We grew up. Um, I have a friend named Roxy, and I don't know. She might remember this. Roxy and Kathy. When we grew up in a church, our foundation is a church, and there were so many healings that went on back there. We were teenagers. Uh, I remember people, getting them walking, and cancers being spit up, and so and a lot of different types of things happened during that time. And so all I
mm,
know is what I know, and that is that God heals. He showed me all of those things from way back then. Um, he showed me this person that had some type of disease, or pictures of this person, face and body full of nasty, ugh, like bumps or whatever, and walking around. This is in another city, walking around like nothing, like totally healed. People's bones and crushed, but they're healed and they're walking around, and he showed so much. So although there is no type of cure from a human point of view, I know that
mm,
God can do it, because my mom, I'm going to say a couple of weeks ago, my stepdad told me she lifted her leg. And he hadn't seen her do that in a while, like in about a year and so, and very alert. And she's trying to talk and things, and just being alert and saying, and all of this. I said, okay. And I'm telling my mom, Mom, remember again what you told me, and how to do this and how to do that. I just believe God. I said, Mom, you got to have the faith too. You're gonna be a testimony for Him, you know, um, and things. So leaning on the my background, leaning on what I've learned about healing and seeing people healed. That's all I know. And yes, some people, God, they don't live, they die. But however, I don't even look at that, because I kind of like used to look at it. But I said, no, 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 no. You said, you told me to believe. And I believe, if I can say this, I think it was last year, or going into last year, I had this, I was wide awake, but I call it a dream, but I was wide awake, if that makes sense. Um,
mm,
and I was trying to toss and trying to turn, trying to move my body, and I couldn't do it. And I was trying to call on the name of Jesus. I was saying, my mouth wouldn't open, nothing. I don't know how long it lasts, but I finally, when I turned over and I kicked and I said, Jesus. and my body moved, and I was drenched in sweat. My hair, my pillow, my clothes and stuff. But when I was able to say Jesus, it was my mother on the other end pulling my hand, come out of this in the name of Jesus. And I said, Jesus, and I came out of it. And I'm thinking, I said, okay, God, something is going on. I don't know what it is, but I got to pray. And that's what I did. And when I prayed trusting him in all things, knowing that he's a God, he's a deliverer of any and everything. And so holding on to those things, holding on to knowing that God can heal and he is a healer, holding on that my mom is in his hands. I can't do nothing about it. That's another thing that put in that guilt and that fear and that anger because I can't do nothing for her, you know. And just stepping in faith, walking in faith daily, and trusting and knowing God is a healer. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Wow, 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 wow,
Yeah.
wow. Listen, let me tell you, I typed it in the chat for everybody to know. If I don't know nothing else, I can tell you I know God is a healer. I know that, and when you say that's all you know, I can say that's all you need is to know that. Even in the state of the world right now, we have so many people who are panicking and overly, anxious. And the Bible tells us be anxious for nothing, but with prayer and supplications, make every request known unto God. You don't have to be anxious for anything. But just know that God is a healer. God is who he says he is. God lives in us. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And when we can tap into the fact that God is here, he's within. We don't have to go outside of us to find God. God is, he said he's a very present help in the time of trouble. So what does that mean for us? That all we have to do is go within and
Mm-hmm.
look within and understand that the power that we need, the power to all of life, the power to everything is within us. And when we tap into that, when we really, really tap into that and we step out of our flesh will have us going all kind of which ways. And that's the
Right.
thing that's so awesome about God. God knows that. God knows that we are living a human experience, but every now and then he sends nice, beautiful, subtle reminders to let us know I promise to never leave you nor forsake you.
Right.
I promise to be with you until the end of the world. I promise that God promised to be with us, with
Mm-hmm.
us. You understand? And He promised that if we would, you know, delight ourselves in Him, He would give us the desires of our hearts. Those things, God is intimate with us. God is intertwined with us. We are one with God. And when we really, really, really tap into that and experience his power, you'll never forget that. That's all you know. That's all you need to know is you'll never forget that. Once you have that kind of experience with God, you will never, ever, 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 ever forget that. And that's what's so powerful about this book. If you do not have this book, let me tell you, you need to get this book, especially if you even know, if you're not dealing with Alzheimer's disease or dementia in your family, you probably know somebody who is, because it's a very common situation these days, and a lot of people don't know. They just don't have the tools to go through something as challenging as this. And I really was so excited to publish this book, to put it out there, to let people know. And I'm committed to you, as an author with Divine Excellence, to let other people know, we have information out here that can be a blessing to your life. And as you bless the author, you're blessing yourself, you understand, and being a blessing to the author's mother, because these are the things that we're doing, to hone in on entrepreneurship, but at the same time we're blessing our families. We're taking care of the business of the kingdom. This is kingdom work. This is kingdom assignment. I believe in operating in my kingdom assignment. I must do that. That's what I was put here to do. I must do this. And that's why it's not hard for me to do it. It's not hard for me to put together things like this, because God has put this in my life for years. Even as a child, I was computer savvy. I got in trouble for the computer when I was a child. But God put, when He anoints you to do something, you're just anointed to do it. You understand? And I know that you're anointed to study. In this book, anybody that reads this book can tell that Kimberly V. Porter is anointed to study. She's anointed to share information that can be helpful to the world. And we want to get this message out to the world. So listen, guys, you have been listening to the amazing Kimberly V. Porter. She is in Minnesota. And I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity to be her editor and publisher, to publish this amazing book. The book is on Amazon, but today we're offering the book for $15. If you are watching the replay of this, you can get the link to PayPal to order the book. And please, when you order the book, if you know me, you can find me on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Bridget Parker, which is my maiden name. So if you find me on Facebook, that's Bridget Parker. You can message me with your address or inside the notes for PayPal. And I'm going to put the link up again. Inside the notes for PayPal, you can leave a note with your address and your email address, because we want to stay in touch with you. We want to stay connected to you. Kimberly has a great heart to serve. She serves in many capacities. We talked about some of the things that she's working on now that's going to be upcoming. So you want to stay tuned to the Facebook page of spiritual guidance through Alzheimer's disease, because she's constantly sharing. And Kimberly, tell us the other ways that people can stay in contact with you other than Facebook.
Mhm. I'm on LinkedIn. You can just Google my name, Kimberly V. Porter, um, MD. I have a master's in early childhood development, so that would be attached to that. And I'm also on Twitter, and working on some other things so that I can be out there. I have a website that will be up soon, and I can share that uh, as soon as it's developed. Yeah.
Absolutely. So just know that you all ultimately can stay connected with Kimberly. She definitely has some very, very helpful information for those who are dealing with, Alzheimer's, dementia, and just getting through it, because you do need the support. I recently, I lost my mother at the beginning of this year, and that left me in a position to be a caretaker for my stepdad. And trust me, being a caregiver, I was like, I want to salute every CNA, every nurse, every person that works in a nursing home facility, hospitals. Honey, you have my, oh my God, you have my utmost respect, because it is so hard to do that type of work just for one person, and you all have to do it for multiple people. And so from me, you have my utmost respect.
Yes.
Because it's you love the person and you want to take the best care of them, but there's only so much that you can do as one person. You need a team of people surrounding you. You need to be connected to people that can, if you need to scream, I know, Kim, you talked about screaming, but sometimes you just need to scream, okay? And sometimes you need to cry, and sometimes you just need to let it out. And it's okay. It's okay
It's
to let it
okay.
out, because that stuff staying in is not good. My stepdad would always tell me, pressure make a pipe burst, Bridget. Pressure make a pipe burst. If you got something to say it. And he would tell me that, and I was like, as a teenager, I was like, I don't think you want to hear what I got to say, but he would tell me pressure, pressure make a pipe burst. If you got something to say it, say it. Don't hold that stuff in. So dealing with this type of disease, you definitely need a great support system. And we are here not just as authors, but being a support system for those who are dealing with this. You may need somebody to talk to that has firsthand experience with it, and you may can't get through to that superstar that you're watching, but you have people that are right here amongst you, that are available to you, that you can touch, that you can pick up and call and say, hey, how do I get through this? And furthermore, you can get this book as a tool, as a guide, as a reference to go to and see just how Kimberly is working through it, how it's affecting her family, and how they're working through it as a family. Because trust me, it's very hard on everybody. It doesn't just affect the person, but it affects everybody. So as a family unit, it's so important to have that. And I want to give special mention to your brother. He is watching live. He shared. I don't know if you saw him on your end. He did say hello, Apostle John Ross. Thank you for watching and tuning in. That is Kimberly's brother, and we thank you for tuning in. He did share the live as well. So, thank you all for joining us for the virtual book signing. Kim, hold the book up so they can see the book. You have the book there, hold it up so they can see the book.
Okay, here it is.
This is the book right
Spiritual
here.
Guide, Alzheimer dis-ease. And it's a reason why it's a dis-ease because it is a dis-ease to those that have to take care of them. And it basically it will help you. It does, as Bridget says, has a lot of information in here on different types of foods and exercising and resting, supplements that can be taken and to stop to hold it up. But um, it's good. It's and to change your diet. We gotta be more healthier with everything that we're doing anyway. But this is it. And I thank you so much for listening and being a part of my mom's story. Um, I want to thank the pastors and just anybody. I mean, for pastors to get to know, learn about this because there have been people in audience. I know in church that I went to, there was a member that had it, and I approached the wife and asked her. So when you learn about this disease, you'll be able to spot it in the grocery store, at a church, wherever you go. You're sitting in a park, you'll be able to see it in people. And the thing is, my new thing is to get more involved in this. Yes, early childhood is my love and my heart, but this is as well, and to help other people as much as I can, um, to build a foundation of networking and getting through this together, trusting God in all things.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm putting some information about you in the comments as you were talking. And you all, like I said, you all can connect with Kimberly on social media, here on her book page, or on LinkedIn and Twitter. She's on those pages. And just, if you have to leave an inbox message, let us know. And by all means, please get the book. Share the book. Oh, excuse me. Excuse the yawning. Oh my goodness. Share the book and let other people know that this book is out here to help other people, just navigate through this ease that you have it on the front of the book, because it is a diseasing, and it is something that you can get through it. You can get through it with with God. You can do anything with God, and I definitely know that. I'm very sure Kim can agree. Without God, you just don't know where you would be in this position, and just knowing that that foundation, thankfully you had that foundation given to you by your mother. Your mother gave that to you, and that's something that you'll always be able to stand on, to even be now a support to her, through this time and in this time, that you'll always be able to be that support to her through the foundation that she gave you in God. And it's just amazing. I'm gonna finish typing this up. Let's see. And we're going to wrap this up. And I just want to say, for those who are tuning in live, remember the book is $15 today. And if you are listening to the replay of this, um, the book will be $15 all day. Click on the PayPal link to order the book. Leave your information in the notes, your email, because we do want to stay connected to you. Follow Divine Excellence Consulting on Facebook. Follow the Network and Chill page. Y'all know I'm constantly on live. And we just want to, stay connected in this time. Be connected, stay connected, and be a help to each other. And if you can't do anything else, share this live video. Share it on your pages so people can hear Kimberly's story, because it is amazing. It's very powerful, and just for her to be transparent and vulnerable and share this part of her life with the world. I know it took a lot for her, and I applaud your courage. I applaud your bravery, and I told you you could do it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you, and I just want you to know that continue to do the work. The blessing is already on you. The provision is already there. Everything that you need is already there. Continue to thank God for it. Continue to be who you are, and continue to share your message with the world, because somebody is listening, and I'm going to help you get the message out. As long as I can do it, I'm going to be the one to help you get the message out. So I thank you all for tuning in, watching us, connecting with us with this virtual book signing on today. This is actually a first and official book signing for Kim, because as we know, COVID-19 just took over and was all rude, and tried to stop a lot of stuff. But one monkey don't stop no show. So, we're going to keep on going and keep on doing what we got to do. We have technology. As long as we got some technology, we can make it happen, and we can come to where you are. Hey, look, you didn't have to pay an admission fee or anything. It was just right here for you. And you can even watch it over and over and over and over again to hear the nuggets and the wisdom that was shared on this live today. So, you all, we wish you an amazing Saturday. Stay blessed, stay prayed up, and remember that God is a healer. God is a healer. The
Yeah.
Bible says by Jesus' stripes we were healed. That means it was already
Yeah.
done. It was already done. So thank you all for tuning in. We love you all, and you all have a great, great day. Bye bye. Let me get over here. Bye. I got to remember everything is opposite on the camera. Bye.